So you spin, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out.
Yeah.
Gets wider in the middle. And so Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning. And it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere. It's oblate. And officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear-shaped. 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 Pear-shaped.
I'm Jay Herman. I'm the EPIC lead scientist for the Discover mission. On July 6, 2015, we released this spectacular image of Earth taken by NASA's EPIC camera.
In reality, we have different densities, different material in our planet, which is reflected by dips and bumps in the gravity signal.
Well, why the big secret? People are smart. They can handle it.
A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Imagine what you'll know tomorrow.
Is the world flat?
Is the world flat?
Yes.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I never thought about it, Whoopi.
If your son says to you, Mom, is the world round or flat?
And I'll have to go, baby, we got to go to the library and find some books.
the giver. When the elders need guidance, I provide wisdom using memories of the past. Our world was different. There was more.
More?
Much more.
Down metal gondola which will bring us into the stratosphere. We are going to be lifted up there by Linde hydrogen. That hydrogen will lift us in a place where nobody can breathe and live. But inside we'll have Linde oxygen which makes good what the hydrogen makes bad. And makes the gas opposite.
Once again, Professor Picard, the Belgian scientist, has ascended to heights never before reached by man to study the stratosphere, that unknown region which surrounds the Earth at a distance of more than 7 miles. Last year in May, he reached over 9 miles in height, but this time he was out to beat his own record. Accompanied by his assistant, Monsieur Max Cousins, the start was made at dawn from Dubendorf Aerodrome near Zurich. The preparations for the flight began at midnight, but thousands of people had made the journey from Zurich in special trains, whilst a battalion of Swiss troops held down the guy roads. Professor Picard himself superintended the arrangements for the inflation of the balloon. And then, when all was ready, he clambered inside the gondola which contained a mass of scientific instruments and gave the signal to let go. The balloon rose quickly and eventually climbed to over 10.5 miles above the Earth. Just imagine, whilst we were sweltering in the heat wave, he was nearly frozen to death in 15 degrees centigrade below zero. After being aloft for over 12 hours, he eventually landed near Lake Garda in Italy. From the practical point of view, Professor Picard's experiment is of the highest possible importance. But one of the things it will definitely do will be to enable better weather forecasts to be made.
Stephen King book, I'm going to cover this town with a dome!
It's been done!
Really? Did you know about this?
Antarctica is dominated by ice. Over much of the continent, the ice is more than 1.5 miles thick. This fortress of cold holds captive 70% of all the fresh water on the planet. If the ice melted, the oceans would flood over half the world's population. The ice controls the Earth's climate. It reflects heat from the sun back into space. The seawater it chills affects currents and temperatures everywhere. But there is more to Antarctica than just ice.
Picture steroid Santa Claus kicks and deals. It's a long fly ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium. Oh, Simpson just broke this dream's reality wide open.
Everyone, please stop what you're doing and listen. This is not here.
Open fire!
You have people trapped in here!
Run. What are you telling us we're trapped like rats?
This is the age of the narcissist. Gimme, 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 only I exist. This is the age of the narcissist. Give me everything right now. This is the age of the us and them. Praise the Lord, don't let them in. This is the age of the us and them. But it's okay somehow.
We are told that the Earth spins at 1,040 miles per hour, while the Earth travels around the Sun at 66,000 miles per hour. Meanwhile, the whole solar system is going inside the Milky Way galaxy at a speed of 490,000 miles per hour. And finally, the entire Milky Way galaxy is starting through infinite space at over 1 million miles per hour. Most people believe this, and yet every experiment ever conducted to prove even the simple spin of the Earth has failed.
Sonoluminescence was in a darkened room. I was transfixed to look at this spherical Spherical flask of fluid?
A tiny spot of bright light contained in a flask of liquid. This star in a jar is made when a sound wave is passed through a small bubble inside a flask of liquid. The bubble gives off an incredible burst of heat and light, several thousand times a second, giving the appearance of a star.
If you spare a little of your imagination, it is a film to describe to you the effect of cymatic frequencies on matter. Everything owes existence solely, completely to sound.
Mother Nature and God the Father have a master plan. Unity is what we need across the land. Well, yeah. The Creator, Mother Nature, has a working plan. Diversity is what we need across the land. The power of one world, minds flowing together, changing energy, affecting you and me, there for you to see. Now if this one world would stand together, you'd feel the power of love, you'd feel the power of one.
Absolutely. Do you get to fly to the edge?
Oh, yeah.
What's past there?
Don't know. We're not allowed to fly past that.
Let's go.
What would you do? What would any of you be willing to do? Would you brave the weird and haunted shores at World's End?
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Circle, and it takes 24 hours for the sun to circle the flat Earth in one day. And the sun's circles get bigger and smaller depending on the time of the year. In June, the sun is circling over the Tropic of Cancer. It's got a much tighter circle. In December, the sun is circling over the Tropic of Capricorn, so it's got a much bigger circle. And at the equinoxes, the sun is circling over the equator. Okay, equinox, equator. Now the moon also circles above the flat Earth, but the moon is slightly slower than the sun. The moon takes 24 hours and 50 minutes to circle the flat Earth. That's what's called a lunar day. It's slightly slower than the sun. So where the sun takes 24 hours to make one 360-degree circle, which is 15 degrees an hour, the moon takes 24 hours and 50 minutes to make one 360-degree circle, which equates to only 14.5 degrees per hour. So the moon, because it's slightly slower, it loses a half a degree on the sun per hour. So this half a degree per hour equals 12 degrees per day. So as the sun and the moon circle above in the firmament, the moon loses 12 degrees per day on the sun. And this 12-degree loss causes the lunar phases. So as you see here in this little animation, we've got the sun and the moon circling above, 1 hour at a time. And by the time the sun gets back to its original position at 12 noon, after one full day has gone by, the moon has lost 12 degrees on the sun. And this happens every day. And this loss of 12 degrees per day is what's going to cause the phases of the moon. Be 12 degrees further, and 12 degrees further, and so on and so forth. The moon loses 12 degrees per day, and this causes the phases of the moon. A solar day is a true 24 hours. A sidereal day, or a stellar day, is what's slightly shorter by 4 minutes. A stellar day is only 23 hours and 56 minutes. So because it's 4 minutes faster than a regular day, this 4 minutes equates to 1 degree. So the stars all rotate around Polaris every single day, but because they're slightly faster than the sun, it gains 1 degree per day, and this causes the stars to shift 1 degree per day roughly, or roughly 7 degrees per week. So if you were to look up at the sky at the same time every day, they're going to be slightly different because they're shifting 1 degree every day. So here I made a little animation of the Big Dipper and Polaris. I'm not going to include all the rest of the stars in this because, you know, I'm not a computer whiz, but I can do the Big Dipper and Polaris. And every day it circles around Polaris. Polaris never moves. The North Star never moves. I know in my little animation it's bouncing around just a little bit here, but it's supposed to be constant. It never moves. It's a guide. So 1 rotation equals 1 stellar day. The 4 seasons. This symbol is an ancient symbol. You might know it as swastika. But what it really means is the 4 seasons, because if you were to look at the Big Dipper throughout the year, this is what it's going to look like. Constantly pointing to the North Star, which never moves.
In my last video, I tried to prove that the sun is a whole lot closer than we've been told by showing the shadows of clouds on the ground and crepuscular rays, which seem to converge right at the sun as opposed to coming in the atmosphere parallel like.
Sun, moon work over the flat Earth model and taking advantage of the fact that the atmosphere is full of moisture and that it is acting like a lens. It's the iPhone view. I'm going to bring the cloud in here, and the platform represents the bottom of the clouds, so the sun's going down, and whoop, there it is. The bottom of the clouds illuminated.
No pun intended. He's putting on the polarizing filter now.
That is in the clouds. He lives on a tropical island and has a phenomenal view.
Hey, geh weg, Marc.
And the moon are creations, and they work in tandem with each other, and it is a work of art. It is absolutely perfect the way this works. The sun is the hour hand on a 24-hour clock. It gives us our days, it gives us our seasons, and the moon keeps track of the months. The months were 30 days, 1 month, 1 lunar cycle.
Moon, a daylight shot of the moon with the sun also. As Jaron would say, let's roll that beautiful bean footage. Like I said, this is 2:35 p.m. in Tennessee, December 18th, 2015. We'll pull out here now, and I want to just show you that we have the sun is shining. Of course, you can tell the sun's shining, so I'll pan over here. No edits, no cuts, it's just a straight pan, show the sun's in the sky, no big deal. We have the moon and the sun in the sky here at the same time, so I wanted to check all the way around the backside of the globe, Australia. Yes, Australia, we have the moon at 52.8%, and it's 4:32:51 a.m. I think the sun will rise. I looked at it as I can remember. It either said 5:38 a.m. or 5:39. So what's a minute? They can see 52% of the moon in Australia at the same time, apparently, that we can see from Nashville, Tennessee. Let's see here. Yep, 52.8% also in Nashville, Tennessee. At a time of, I think it says 2:54, and I may not be at the times right, but you know, they're very close here. And of course it's December 18th here. So what I want to get to is a little Google map here and show you that there's the United States. I've actually got it marked on Tennessee, and we spin the Google globe around to Perth, Australia. I think it's 11,100 something miles. I'm not exactly sure, but explain to me how in the world, if the moon is in Australia, you can see it in the United States, or vice versa, the moon's in the United States and you can see it in Australia. So I got a little experiment here with a globe and the moon we're going to do. There we go. Here comes our moon in. Here's South America. You see the United States rotating around. So everybody's seeing the moon here in Tennessee and the United States also. And as our moon comes around the globe, we see that here comes Australia. And right now, there's no way you could see the moon in the United States, but they say you can. There's no way on a ball that you're going to tell me that you can be on one side of the ball and see on the other side of the ball. I took this outside with a globe, set it up, and even if I get up high or low, and with the globe tilted at 23 degrees, there's just no way. It doesn't matter how far you walk back to look at it, you cannot see the opposite side of the globe. It's not going to happen. Flat Earth, it's over. The moon shows the truth. It is a flat plane that we live on.
They've run out of anecdotes, you know,
Yeah.
and they just start making stuff up.
Yeah.
Like that Neil Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows?
Neil Armstrong, you mean the first man to walk on the moon?
Talk about a fish story.
Yeah.
Man, and they're buying it.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Captain thinks the world is around, see? But we all know it's a flat, right?
Of course it's flat. Sure, I know the world is flat.
Yeah, so do I. Everybody knows that.
What are you telling us? We're trapped like rats?
To prevent your poisons from spreading, your government has sealed you all within this dome.
Our best guess puts the dome at 20,000 feet, sir.
Did he just call it a dome?
I want roving death squads around the perimeter 24/7. I want 10,000 tough guys.
Let me out! Let me out! I wanna...
What's the most resilient parasite? An idea. A single idea from the human mind can build cities. An idea can transform the world and rewrite all the rules. Which is why I have to steal it.
Never recreate from your memory. Always imagine new places.
He's hiding something, and we need to find out what that is.
We gotta break out of here. Give him the kick. This was not a part of the plan!
Wake me up! Wake me up!
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today.
This is the age of the narcissist. Gimme, 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 only I exist. This is the age of the narcissist. Give me everything right now. This is the age of the us and them. Praise the Lord, but don't let them in. This is the age of the us and them. But it's okay somehow. How long will
confined to the globe, and now the idea that there's any other land now goes away because it's a way to hide other land. Now the theory goes, and again, I don't necessarily believe this is true, but it is extremely interesting. The theory goes that if you no longer confine yourself to a globe where there is a limited amount of land, and you keep traveling in all directions, there's more land. Now, the theory goes that there is, out of the range of the sun, there is a lot of ice, which collectively becomes Antarctica, right? But if you get beyond the ice, there are other suns, and there is other moons, and there is other land masses, and the land is infinite. It keeps going. There are more trees, there are more resources, there is more coal, there is more gold, there are more animals. Why would this be hidden from us? Well,
In 1887, Albert Michelson and Edward Morley conducted what's known as the Michelson-Morley experiment. This experiment was attempting to prove the speculated motion of the Earth around the Sun, and when it failed, Albert Einstein was forced to form the theory of relativity to overcome this problem.
Listen to what Max says about these weird alignments with our local neighborhood.
All right, let's roll this clip.
But what about the alignments with the ecliptic and equinoxes, which Lawrence Krauss had said would mean we were really the center of the universe? We asked Max Tegmark if Planck's results had convinced him that the axis of evil actually was aligned with our ecliptic and equinoxes.
I have to confess that I was bothered by the fact that the axis of evil seemed linked to a special direction in our solar system, and something in my gut was telling me that this might, even though I greatly trust the people on the Double Map team, point to something fishy in their analysis. But I also feel very strongly that I have to actually override my gut by using my brain and by looking at data. And now we have completely independent data with better detectors, completely different people seeing the same thing. So there's just no way we can blame this on the Double Map team.
Science has found evidence that Earth is the center of the universe. Science has found evidence that God exists. So why do they tell us we are insignificant?
There's nothing special about humans. There's nothing special about the Earth. In fact, our universe may be one among many universes.
And there's no evidence of planning or purpose in the universe.
The Big Bang assumes that the only thing that exists is the physical world, and there's nothing beyond that.
The truth is, we are significant.
We are in a special place. I do believe that the universe was created by God.
Always question the scientists and their foundations.
They built their careers on this, and it would be admitting a major mistake.
So they send out this satellite and they find out these temperature disturbances throughout the universe were all pointing to the Earth.
Whoa, what is going on here?
This cosmic microwave background is like we are seeing the fingerprint of God, the hallmarks of the Creator.
Man is in a special location for presumably a special purpose.
We are in a special place. I do believe that.
Science has said, stay over in this category here. You cannot go into the God category because that's going to destroy our science.
Now that is controversial because anyone in the standard cosmology community would not even entertain such a notion.
It's just too perfect to be a happenstance or a coincidence.
This is the movie modern science doesn't want you to see.
If you were paranoid, you'd say there's a conspiracy.
As a matter of fact, you can go on some websites of NASA and see that they've started to take down stuff that might hint to a geocentric universe. I mean, how do you avoid this evidence? They have nowhere to go. It's the moment of truth for science.
So, I'm keeping all options on the table.
You are significant. Get the proof. Spread the truth.
There was a documentary just put out yesterday, a good one, by the way, people should check out, called Flatten the Curve, by a bunch of pilots and military people. You know, that's our term. That's our flat Earth term.